Combat sports, martial arts, kickboxing, boxing, fighting, UFC, judo, taekwondo, karate. There's a whole heap of combat sports that have a lot of controversy surrounding them. There's a lot of people that don't like combat sports. There's a lot of people that absolutely love them. Well, I'm an old lady and I am so respectful of two people going onto a mat or into a ring or into a cage and physically fighting. And the reason for that, of course, is in the world, we all have to fight for something. Whether we fight for our reputation, we fight for looking after our family, we fight to defend ourselves, we fight for our right to have an opinion. We might even have to physically fight because somebody tries to hurt us, so we have to defend and protect ourselves or our family. So the question I always ask is, we teach our kids to swim, why do we do that? If you live in a country where there's rivers or lakes or swimming pools or the ocean, it's been suggested it's a really good idea to teach your children how to swim so they don't drown. But my question is always this: who teaches our kids to protect themselves on the land? How do we know if somebody's trying to hurt us physically and or mentally, because bullying is a big thing now, how do we make sure that we can handle it? Who teaches us to fight for ourselves, to defend and protect ourselves? And of course, that's what martial arts is all about. Now, I'm married to a world-class, top-level martial artist. K-Man was a professional kickboxer. He is a 6-dan black belt in Taekwondo, and I always share that. He has 6 degrees of black in martial arts. He's a black belt in judo. He teaches kickboxing, obviously, because he was a professional kickboxer. And the reason that I have so much respect for what my husband does is he teaches, coaches, educates and trains people how to defend and protect themselves so they will never have to fight. That's one of the beautiful things that I've learned as a woman is once I learned how to kick and punch, I learned how to hold myself, I learned how to protect and defend myself. 3 times in my life I've had to physically defend myself, and I did it without any fear, I did it without any hesitation of can I do this? It was just a natural response to my training. So I'm sharing that with you because I hope that you never have to defend or protect yourself. I hope that your kids never get bullied. I hope that your kids are never bullies. But unfortunately, we live in a world where that may not be true. And if you ever have to defend yourself, wouldn't it be nice to know how? But the thing I love most about martial arts, I love everything about it, but here's the thing I love the most. Martial arts teaches respect and discipline, 2 things that I think are really lacking in the world. And I can say that because I'm an old lady. And I always thought that when I was an old lady, I was always taught as a young woman to respect my elders, to treat older people with respect, to make sure that I have complete and utter reverence and respect for people that have lived on the planet for a long time. I was also taught please and thank you and I'm sorry and I made a mistake and good manners. I went to a school where if you didn't have good manners, you got suspended and or expelled from the school. You had to treat people with respect. But I live in a world now as an old lady where I am disrespected all the time. Now I can handle it. I'm a tough nut. I've got thick skin. I don't need people to open the door for me or give me their chair or call me ma'am or miss, or I don't need to be respected. But I wonder what happened to respect. And one of the things I love about our martial arts clubs, for example, we have treats at the end of the classes for our tiny dragons and our little dragons. We have ice creams or chocolates or lollipops. And our kids have to say please and thank you. Please can I have and thank you for giving me. They have to bow when they come onto the mat because this is a place of respect. So you bow to show your respect for the courage it takes to come onto the mat. And just as a side note, the thing I really love about martial arts, because it's 2 people going into a cage or onto a mat or into a ring, is 2 people go in and 1 person wins. You have to defend and protect yourself. You have to fight for yourself. It's one of the reasons I don't like team sports. Doing team sports when I was growing up, if I played well and we lost, I hated that. I put in 100% effort and we lose, I hate that. The reverse, if I don't put in 100% effort and we still win, what's the joy in that? But with martial arts, it's a you and you alone against your component. And you have to be your very best, otherwise you will lose. It's one of the reasons why we've got very credible boxes on. This is my office and this is also our indoor training area. And obviously we've got a wall full of people that are very good at their sport. one of the things I love about boxers, and people say, well, Rowie, why do you love boxing so much? Because two people go onto a ring, onto a mat, and one of them wins, and one of them has to believe that they're the best, and they have to make sure that the other person believes that they're the best. It's the ultimate in self-esteem and self-confidence and courage, and things that I think our kids just seem to be lacking. We've got kids that cry at the tiniest little thing. We've got kids that can't handle pressure. They can't handle a challenge. They sook and whinge and moan and complain over the littlest things. But when you learn how to fight, and obviously when you fight, there's going to be some pain. If you get kicked in the shin or you get punched in the face, and that happens in fighting, but it causes you or forces you to be stronger. You have to get stronger or you fall down. And we live in a world now when people get knocked down, they tend to stay down, or they stay down for a very long time. I would like our kids to know that they don't need to fall down at all. Stand up and fight for yourself. And if you do fall down, make sure you get up really quickly. And that's, again, one of the beautiful things about martial arts on a mat, in a ring, in a cage. If you fall down, you have to get back up really quickly. I'm sharing all of that with you because I would like to live in a world where people have discipline and respect. Discipline is doing what you should do when you should do it, even if you don't feel like it. And respect is, for me, three things. Respect for yourself, respect for other people, and respect for your environment. If we have respect for ourselves, we wouldn't have any challenge, would we, with people being fat or sick or diseased or all the things that are caused by being inactive or eating crappy food. Because if you have respect for yourself, you are going to be fit and strong, and you're going to eat healthy food because you respect your own body. You're going to sleep deeply, you're going to drink water, you're going to get fresh air and sunshine because you have respect for yourself. If you respect other people, then things like please and thank you and I'm sorry and I made a mistake and treating people beautifully are just going to be normal, because that's what respecting other people is all about. And if you respect your environment, and I get disappointed most days now, when I have to go out into the world, I go to a public toilet, it's filthy. I see graffiti on a building, I see rubbish on the ground, I see things that are dirty and messy and disorganised because people don't have respect for their environment. If you have respect for somebody else's things, you won't draw on their building, you won't litter on the ground. We always share this at martial arts. Where does the rubbish go? It goes in the rubbish bin. That's what rubbish bins are for. I always tell a very fun story. I was on the Gold Coast. We used to have a face-to-face college on the Gold Coast in Surfers Paradise. And I came out of the building one evening and there was a car in front of me, and it stopped at the traffic lights, and a big pile of McDonald's wrappers came out the window. They just threw them on the ground. Well, I've been to countries where throwing rubbish on the ground is normal, and I don't want to live in a country like that. So I got out of the car, picked up the McDonald's wrappers and put them back in the window. What was really interesting about that story, though, is that the kids in the back of the car said, "Dad, we told you not to do that." Interestingly, the respect for the environment was coming from the children, not from the parent. Now, I don't want to be judgmental of anybody. That's not my role. Me as an old lady, I believe that my role is to live the example for our children, that being respectful and being disciplined and being healthy, fit and strong, learning every day, having a career or business that you love, being financially free and having great people in your life, they're the things that I talk about every day. I need to live that example. And that's the thing I love the most about martial arts. What I love about the discipline and the respect of martial arts is it forces you to be that person. Now, the interesting side note again there is there's a lot of people that start martial arts, and most martial arts start with a white belt, whether it's judo or karate or taekwondo. You start with a white belt and you finish with the black belt. Now, there's some differentiation in colours along the way, but when you've got a black belt in any martial arts, it shows that you have been through the journey of the toughness of, and it obviously gets harder and harder. White belt is easy. Yellow belt gets a little tiny bit harder. Green belt's a little bit harder. Blue belt's harder. Red belt's harder again. And then the discipline and respect and training and headspace that you need to become a black belt is very rare. Millions of people start at white belt, but very few people make it through to black belt. And even people that you think are going to make it, we get perplexed in our house on a regular basis because somebody will get as far as a blue belt or a blue belt with a red stripe or even a red belt, and then they quit. The only definition of failure is to quit, so if you never quit, you can never fail. And that's the thing I love about people. When you hear somebody say, I've got a black belt in Taekwondo or a black belt in kickboxing or a black belt in judo, it shows that you've been through a journey of discipline and respect and hard training. And I wish that for the world. Now, I can wish as much as I want to. I'm an old lady and I can't make things happen. But I need to live that example. So I'm asking you, if you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a boss or a leader, if you've taught the people in your life how to swim, shouldn't we teach them how to defend and protect themselves? Shouldn't we teach them discipline and respect? There's lots of different ways to do that, but it's the big reason, and I'm obviously very biased. My husband is a top-level martial artist. But what I love about martial arts is the two things that are the most important thing in life, discipline and respect, are two things that will make you successful in any martial art. So if you want to live your life to the max, how about do some kicking and punching? How about discipline and respect? Because if you've got discipline and respect in your life, surely you can live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to the max, kicking and punching, yeah, woohoo!